like just a step. Next thing you know, it's like, okay, now take over my body.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, no. So you're giving an unknown spirit rights to mess with you. That's dangerous, man. So I don't know. I don't think it's right. But some people out there listening might be normal to them. But good luck with that.
It's Friday night, so let's you want to get possessed. Okay. Let's get possessed. Okay.
So not only do they lay claim to your body, but they will lay claim to your
life.
It's true. So voodoo actually scattered all the way to Mexico, and it got merged with Catholicism, and they call it Santeria. Now,
just another form of another religion. You wonder how all these religions around the world form.
Yep.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that. I mean, you could take your religion, that whatever that is now, add a little something or take away a little something, give it a new name, and get enough people, now you're a religion.
And that's exactly
what happens. Does that make it right or wrong?
Well,
anything you add on to or take away from the Word of God is an abomination.
Well, it's like getting a recipe. If, perfect example, my mom has this, kick butt bread recipe, and she handed it down to me. And after she passed away, I had questions about this recipe.
Sounds a little doughy to me.
Oh, lame. And so I decided to change it up. Well, the bread didn't work quite like it was. I just changed it, one little thing. I forgot what it was. But so it's like religion, you know. So you change it, but with Santeria, what happened was, it was in Haiti, and then they started bringing the slaves over, or the people over to be slaves in our country, and the slaves didn't want them to know that they practiced that because they were basically Roman Catholic when they were, bringing them. So what they did was they wanted to protect the religion, but so they appeared to be Catholic converts, and they merged their gods with a corresponding Christian saint. So they called their branch of voodoo Santeria, which means the worship of saints. So isn't it weird? But it is voodoo because, what it is, they believe in the universe and that it was created by one supreme God. But the care of the world has been entrusted to many smaller gods called orishas.
Or mini-gods.
Mini-gods, head guardians. So some of those gods paralleled with Catholic saints like Ogden, he became St. Peter, and Shangs became Saint Barbara. I don't even know who Barbara is.
Yeah,
who's
there's no Barbara in the Bible.
Who's Barb? But and then Bobble's Eye or something became Saint Lazarus, and I'm like, why did Jesus' friend become a saint? I don't understand any of that either.
These people become a saint.
Yeah, it's very confusing to me. So
because somebody said so.
Somebody in charge again. That's
somebody in charge said, "Hey, you know what? I got an idea. Here's what we're going to call these people from now on. We're going to call them saints."
And that's
okay.
How it
well,
works.
everybody's a saints. Let's worship them. Oops, mistake.
In these rituals that they do in Santeria, some of them last 3 days. They're heavily involved with divination and mysticism and magic. They perform curses. They call it spirits. Everything that they do basically has to do with communicating with the spirit. You have to be initiated into it. There's different ways according to your need of spiritual growth. So if you want to be a warrior, then you would do the warrior initiation into Santeria.
I am a warrior.
I believe it. You are karate warrior. Great. Animal blood offered all the time. That's just common in voodoo. We all know that. They either lay it on stones, little chickens and goats and stuff, or they'll drink it.
How's everybody got to pick on chickens and goats?
I don't know.
They're so cute. Goats are pretty cute. You get the little eyes going the wrong direction and everything.
Nah.
And then I learned how to speak lamb anyways.
What?
Yeah, I learned how to speak lamb.
How do you...
Sheep.
How?
Bah, ram, you.
That is... Oh my gosh, that's from that pig movie, right?
Yeah, but that's true.
Yeah, it's a movie. It's not true at all.
It is true.
Oh, God. I don't even know if I can continue. You never hear about them slaughtering pigs, but they slaughter goats and chickens.
It's called bacon.
Oh, yeah, because they want bacon. I guess so. But they don't do it as a sacrifice. They do it because they want to eat.
Well, the thing is, all this stuff really, if you dig deep enough, derives from some biblical thing.
Right.
And we know, according to the Bible in the Old Testament, that pigs and anything that was hooved or chewed its cud is considered an unclean animal.
What's cud?
Cud is when they eat their food and they have several stomachs. And so they can bring that food back up, down the road, I think I'll just, regurgitate some food, chow her down, have it later. Like a cow. You ever see a cow quit chewing?
I've seen some people at Walmart with several stomachs.
Let's not go there. I've seen those videos too. But yeah, and they consider them unclean. So you see, they pick certain animals that are a little more not the clean. So they have the animal blood and sacrifice. They're trying to come up with their own sacrifices, their own ways of approaching their gods. But and you go back into
the Tower of Babel.
Yeah, the Tower of Babel. They wanted to build a tower to reach God.
So God confused their language.
Yep.
And then they all had to spread into groups of whoever spoke.
Because that's what he told them, first of all.
Right. And
he told them not to congregate in one area.
So I think what happened was they all took a little bit of what they already knew and added on to it, and that's where you get all these different religions starting, and then from those branched off more and more and more, and you just get all craziness now in the world. And we got so many people in the world that, oh my goodness.
Do you know that I just learned this a couple days ago, that our population doubles itself every 33 years now?
That's a lot of people.
So in 33 years from now, we're going to have like 14 billion people. That's going to be a huge problem.
I don't even know how that's going to work.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
It's not working now.
That's why they're doing chemtrails in the air. Yeah. They're going to knock off the population. But that's a whole other show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we better get back to the voodoo thing. So,
yeah.
Sorry, Santeria. So another thing that they do is dancing ceremonies. They do herbs and drums, and they invoke spirit possession. They go into an altered state of consciousness, like a trance.
That consciousness thing again.
Yeah.
It's just, God never meant you to be anywhere but alert, focused on Him, focused on what you're doing. And that's, who wants to be in some sort of altered state of, whoa.
Well, because I think that if you were conscious and you knew that a spirit was taking you over, you wouldn't want it.
Right.
So you would fight it. So you go in that altered state, and it's easy for them to
karate.
Yeah?
Fight them.
Wax on, wax off.
That's just a stupid movie.
Sun the floor. Those are real moves.
No,
I've done them.
They actually are real moves,
right.
but they
done them.
Mojo Joe, he actually
Mojo Jojo from Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah.
The little monkey.
Yeah, but he's actually a karate master, and he taught me a lot of what I know.
Oh, that explains a lot.
Yeah.
All right, the monkey, cartoon monkey taught you a lot. I understand now. It's all coming together.
I always thought the little redhead Powerpuff Girl was the hot one.
Cartoon? Hot? Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I can't even, let's not even go there. All right. So, anyways, the voodoo thing again. So what happens is when these spirits take you over, they come down supposedly and they take control of your movements and your mind. They just take you over completely. And then they use shells, like the coconut shells and stuff, and they use them as tools for prophecy, sort of like tea leaves. They break them and how they fall and the shape and stuff.
If you're on the islands, you can use them as like a bra.
Yeah.
Coconut bra.
Yeah.
And we got that little coconut monkey downstairs that we bought when we were...
Yeah, that thing's freaky though.
It's cool looking, man.
I don't know. I get nervous. But you can get at the dollar store. You can get a coconut bra. They're fake coconuts or plastic coconuts.
We want no plastic coconuts. We want the real thing.
I'm not going to walk around in a coconut bra anyways. So then what they do is they pray for favors from the gods by chanting, candles, and fruit offerings.
Some even say that J-Lo practices that Santeria to help her success.
Well, that would make sense because she's from that
maybe
origin or whatever. So, and she's very successful. So, yeah. Could be. Now, in 1989, in let's see, what is it? Matamoros, Mexico. I hope I'm saying that right. They found 15 bodies. And the sheriff says that what happened was there were these drug smugglers, and they sacrificed these 15 people in a Santerian ritual to bless their crimes to get more money and not get caught.
To bless their crimes.
Oh yeah, no, they have gods to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. The reasoning behind this just doesn't make sense. Folks, this is real simple. If you are practicing anything that is in any which way or form harming another individual for your success, there's a problem.
It's just morally wrong in general.
Yeah, where is the common sense in this?
Yeah.
I
agree.
It doesn't make sense.
No. Well, and then what happens is, so now you've got these people saying, well, we want to be able to practice what we can practice. So the authorities are trying to respect the Santeria religion.
Why the authorities just be authorities and do what's right?
Well, because they're under, how that whole chain of command goes.
What happened to right and wrong?
But then they're finding body parts. So it's not just them sacrificing animals, they're sacrificing people, because what's happening is people are just doing whatever they want to do. So how are they supposed to uphold the religious rights when they're not even really practicing what their religion was, but they're using it as a crutch to commit crimes? Right. So that's the problem that they're finding, you know. And do you remember that guy that we helped in Madison, and his mom practiced Saint Maria? Do you remember that story? Yep.
You mean the one that was the possessed guy?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, that was scary. He was like 12 or something, and he had a stroke.
Yeah, he was 11, and he had a stroke, which partially paralyzed one side of his body, so his arm was.
He was from Mexico, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he didn't speak any English.
Right, and then so his mom, who practiced Santeria, did whatever they do, and she basically did this ritual on him, and his life was spared, but then he was paralyzed
partially paralyzed.
On one side.
And he wasn't a very big man to begin with.
Right.
5'6", 5'7", but he was thin, maybe 140, 145.
And then his whole life he was tormented by demons.
Right.
And didn't put that together with that. Like, he thought, well, that's just part of my religion. That's just the way it goes. It's like, it's not supposed to go that way.
Well, it's sometimes, when you're in the box, that's all you see is the four corners. You don't really notice that there's a whole world outside that box. It's true. And you think that's the way it is. That's the way it is for me. But this guy had some serious stinking problems.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was possessed. We saw his eyes change. They got dark.
When we prayed over him. When you see, you see this stuff on...
That's the guy you had a zip tie to a chair, because you took, like, 3 guys? 3
of you? And one girl.
Yeah.
Yep. And that look of, it's almost like looking at a shark or something, that black eye. When the whites disappear, and the man has brown eyes. Yeah. We all have brown eyes with whites around them. And then all of a sudden it just goes all black, and it's staring at you. It's like, whoa.
You know what it looks like? If anybody's wondering, when you see pictures online that people have created of these black-eyed children, that's what it looks like when someone's possessed.
And you feel it. I think I've said this before in another podcast and previous. If anybody would like to look back at some of the other ones, you can do that. But to stay focused, Heidi, which I am Mr. Focus.
But also, when I think I was like 9, and we moved to Manchester, New Hampshire, and we lived in these apartments, and my babysitter, her family practiced Santeria. I didn't know what it was. I was like young. But she's the one that introduced me to the Ouija board, and her mom was a priestess or whatever, and said, oh, you have this gift, let's expand on it. So they were teaching me how to do certain things, tarot and stuff like that. So they were really heavily into that. I never got inducted into it because I was little and not part of the family, but they taught me stuff. So I know that the whole Santeria. And then there's a movie, and I don't know what year, but I think it's like early 80s or late 70s with...
Mad Max?
No, it's called The Believers. Oh. And it has to do with that. And it's an excellent movie. It's very, very good. It has to do with Santeria and the cops and stuff.
Realistic?
Charlie Sheen's dad? Martin Sheen. He's the cop. It's really good. So if anybody wants to ever watch it, it's called The Believers. Excellent movie. So anyways, okay. But that's about Santeria.
A little... kind of a little slug there for the movies.
Yeah. Sorry, but it is good.
It's like 30 years old or plus. So
but it's about what we're talking about. And it talks about a little bit how you can have a group practicing something, but then you've got that little rebellious side group that that do their own thing.
The dark side.
So Santeria, like I said, was merged from voodoo into Catholicism, which is interesting because the Catholicism has some things that are sort of like, I don't know, you want to say borderline ritualistic, kind of weird too. I was Catholic, so I can speak from that side. I'm not trying to judge. I'm just talking about the religion itself, not people or anything like that. Okay.
People are a product of who has taught them and what they've learned.
Yeah,
they become a product.
I'm not like burning pictures of the Pope or anything.
We've had people, who live in families there, and the parents are not quite all there mentally, and given that surroundings long enough, the children actually pick up some of the traits of their somewhat disabled parents. Not always, but sometimes, and they become a product of something that they are not even.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens.
Well, because people would be like, oh, what religion are you? And I'd say Catholic, because that's what I was raised.
I mean, we are a product of everybody we've ever encountered or been with in our life for any length of time. We mimic and have part of their traits. So if our life is in a very small area and we're all practicing, let's say, voodoo, and that's all we know, well, it doesn't really seem to be wrong at the time.
Yeah, that's true.
or Catholicism or any of these other ones, if that's all you know and everybody's convinced you that this is the truth, this is the way, this is the life, this is what you do, this is right and everything, it's like, well, you don't have nothing to compare to.
Well, it's like people, they get comfortable in that box and they don't want to step out because they're scared.